Welcome everyone, I'm Michelle Schumann and I'm the Artistic Director of the Austin Chamber Music Festival, and I am here for Festival Focus, where we are interviewing our artists coming up for the 2014 Austin Chamber Music Festival. I am here with Eugenia Moliner and Denis Azabagic from the Cavatina Duo. We're very excited to have them. They are coming as a collaboration with the Austin Classical Guitar Society, so we're really excited to have that collaboration happen again and to bring these fantastic artists. Eugenia and Denis, your duo is often regarded as one of the best of its kind, so flute and guitar. Can you tell us about your journey and how you came to play music together and create this duo?
So we were both students in Holland at the Rotterdam's Conservatory. And I first started playing some pieces with guitar, not with Denis, but with somebody else. And I didn't even dream at the time that I would end up doing this seriously and professionally. And I think that's how most of the serious things end up being. I mean, they start. Like, you are not really planning them, and then they eventually happen. So we, for the last 2 years of our studies there, we had to play more complex music, and we prepared some pieces like Toruta Meets Towards the Sea or Edison Denisov, the sonata, that requires much more work. And we decided, why don't we do this a little bit more serious? Let's see what happens. So we ended up touring in few countries in Europe because Denis won some competitions, and then we liked what we did. Then we proposed to a record company in Spain to record a CD with some of the pieces that we had already prepared, and they said yes. So when the CD was recorded and it was released, we were very surprised to see that not only in the guitar world but in the flute world as well, we got very good reviews. People were very excited about what we were doing. That was back in 1999. And then after that was a matter of people wanting to hear this unusual combination. And so little by little it developed more and more and more until, until now. So we have non-stop been playing.
Yeah. And there's some wonderful repertoire for flute and guitar. Can you talk a little bit about that? And you also commission works and commission arrangements. So how do you choose the repertoire that you decide to perform?
Well, as Eugenia mentioned before, for our first CD was, what we were discovering through our years of studying at the conservatory. And as we did the first CD, then we thought of what else can we do, what else is out available. You search the catalogs, you talk to other people, you investigate. And then also its influences from friends and people musicians who we admire. So one of the projects that we did, Balkan project, which is arrangements of melodies, dances and songs from the part of the world where I am from, the Balkans. That idea came from friends of ours, and I would say sort of like a mentor, a person we admired very much. His name is Sergio Assad from the Azabagic Duo. So being friends and talking, he said, why don't you guys explore your roots and things like that. So that's how that idea came about. Another thing of CD that we released later on with the music of Pastor Piazzolla, it's not that it's something new in a sense of music of Piazzolla. Piazzolla has been around for decades now, but the pieces that are there, besides some of the arrangements that have been done that are very known, there are pieces for there are 6 studies for solo flute that we also asked Sergio and his daughter Clarissa Assad to write a guitar part, so that was something exciting and new to do. So the idea has sort of come through when you work, as you progress in the life, as you do some things, new doors open, collaborations with new people, talking to new people. We've been in India, we played with Indian musicians, collaborated in that regards. Then just opening up new doors.
But I want also to add that when choosing the repertoire has always been, one of the things that has always been important to us is that the guitar part is an instrument that usually accompanies, because it's a polyphonic instrument, compared to the flute that we only play one line. We didn't want, because there is a lot of repertoire, 19th century repertoire, for example, Giuliani and so many others, that wrote music, that the guitar part is a little bit like more into the kind of simple accompaniment. Mm-hmm. And we tried until now always, we try to avoid that. We try to have both scores, both parts, quite demanding, so that you can have more substantial chamber music rather than a solo virtuoso and then just the simple accompaniment. Yeah. So that was always in our mind when choosing repertoire. Mm-hmm. So there is also another CD that we did of music of David Leisner in 2007, and we did some chamber music in that CD. We played some trios with cello or with clarinet, but always, because David is a guitarist, the guitar part has to be a little bit more substantial, and that was always important for us now. So I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, well, it's very similar to the piano. If the piano is in a duo with another, I'm a pianist, but if a piano is in a duo with another instrumentalist, sometimes they're just small accompaniments and they don't have that substance, but sometimes it's an integral part of that.
Yeah, there's so many really strong chamber pieces, like, if you play the piano, you will know I play the flute. Yes. So the Prokofiev Sonata, for
course,
example,
yes,
such a substantial piece.
Yes.
Or the Widor Suite, yeah, that has the piano so substantial too. There are so many. Yes. And this is very important, and that's the problem that we did not have. And we still don't have a lot of repertoire like that. Mm-hmm. We really had to dig in and find pieces, or in the case that in the last, CD, like the Balkan Project, we had to commission, yes, or the music of Piazzolla, we also had to do the arrangements, and that the composers would have that in mind, so the pieces that Sergio, for example, arranged for us of Piazzolla, the Four Seasons, mm-hmm, the guitar part is very substantial and very kind of demanding, mm-hmm, and that's what we are looking for.
It's too substantial.
We have a virtuoso here, so we have to show this.
Well, and that's exciting for audiences too, because that's what they enjoy, seeing the kind of fireworks that can happen with the two players too.
Well, I think it's important to display as much as you can, but not only the fireworks. I think virtuosity certainly is one part of music making, or let's say of performance that I also enjoy seeing on the stage. Of course, absolutely, but it is never just one thing. It's not only about fireworks. It's also so many other things, and basically, the way we think or feel about the music, it's also the firework has to have something else underneath it.
Yeah.
It has to have, if it is a firework that celebrates 4th of July, it has a better meaning than the firework that is just a firework.
That's right.
So it has to have more content, and the music making and the concert experience is, as you are yourself, right, musician, it's the whole package.
Yes.
The more complete the package, the more the more nuances, the more feelings you can evoke in that hour and a half long event, the more different areas of human soul you can touch, the more you excite yourself and the more you excite the audience.
Yeah. And it's so important to have that emotional connection with the audience and with the music and displaying that. And I wonder if you can talk a little bit, you two are married, and I imagine that everyone has figured this out because you're sitting very close to each other on this interview. You're both married. How do you think that impacts how you play together? Or do you think that there's an impact, the fact that you have such a close relationship? How does this impact your music making together?
Well, I think it does have an impact especially I would say over the years, especially at this point of our life, where just sometimes, speaking for myself, being on the stage and playing together, it's like when you learn a new language, and you are able to speak to whole new culture, whole new group of people. So learning a music, learning to dominate the instrument and that kind of language, the music language, and you start to talk to another person in a very direct way. It transcends the cognitive part. What does the word mean, or what does this chord mean, or what does this line mean? It becomes purely sort of like a emotional expression.
It's like an invisible thing that happens.
And then when it is something that is very intimate, and when that is coupled with your couple, well, then it's, for me, it's even more special. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to talk about the other part, which are the rehearsals. That also carries its.
Well,
its other side. There's a.
Yeah. Well,
I
did want to
ask.
Yes, I did want to ask about that, because I'm curious about that relationship in the rehearsal versus your relationship when you're just in the house. When you're talking about how to shape a musical line or what tempo to take, is it different than when you're in your home deciding what color to paint a wall? How do you...
when you have to paint a wall, he just says, go and buy the color.
Well, that's easy.
This is really funny, because we today it's I have just a little tiny bit of the wall to finish up painting
really?
Up in the passage, yeah,
on the corridor.
And it was like that. In that sense, it was the thing when I said to Eugenia, go find the colors. She's very intuitive, she's very artistic, and I'll do the work of painting. But I also again, our music making or understanding come from sort of like a different
opposite ways.
Points,
but then we find somewhere.
Eugenia is very intuitive. I'm very well, it's more like a systematic, I would say. So, but we meet at one point. So, I don't know. I think that music is just one part of the thing that we do, besides of other things, and I think it just reflects the relationship, how we do about it. How we get to the conclusions, how we fight about it, how we find, the compromise, or how we understand what are the strengths of each other, and implement that.
I remember once reading an interview of Anne-Sophie Mutter with her pianist. I forgot his name. Anyway, so they were doing a tour with the Beethoven sonatas, and they did not agree with a lot of things in interpretation. And I was thinking, and they are not married. He is married. Lurkin is his name. This last name is Lurkin. And I was thinking, wow, they are not married, and they play together, and they have these issues. They must be really good friends, because, how... But then it clicked to me, what they have is respect for each other. They respect each other's opinion. And this is the most important, because when you respect the other person's points, even though you might not agree, but you respect this person because they have their own opinion and their own weight, then it's kind of easier to get through. It takes time to get to that point, because when you have a marriage and you have confidence and you have many years of sharing things and you are parents together and so many things, then when it comes to the musical aspect, sometimes you can transcend a little. You can forget that you are doing music. You think you are still doing, let's choose this. Oh, no, I don't want to. But then this other part comes in. And it's like a little bit roller coaster, because if it starts up, you have the respect at the beginning, you don't know each other. Then it goes up and down because you start to know each other. Then again, it stabilizes. That's what I think. And this is what I feel that we are now. We know how each other's think, and I think that can be felt on the stage, because there is that kind of everybody can distinguish each of our personalities, but that they can really match together in a way. So we don't overcome each other, and we let each other express themselves without overeating, but both of our voices are very present because there is that respect, musical respect.
There's one thing that's important that I've felt is that, we can, if it comes to the point about decision making about something, like for example, let's talk about one piece to play. We both have to feel that we want to play that piece, otherwise it won't work.
Yeah.
We have never, there are pieces that Eugenia wanted to play, I didn't want to play, and we didn't play, and vice versa. It's just that we both have to be convinced about it in order to work. So the same thing is like, when it comes to the making decision about certain musical ideas. If idea is as such that one of us just cannot stomach it, then we cannot do it. But if it is idea that I can say, well, I don't agree with it, but it works, I'll do it if she feels very, very strongly about it. And it's not that complicated anymore, I think.
Well, and I think that's the wonderful thing about chamber music, is that it's always this go between, your idea, their idea, and sometimes finding something in between, and sometimes discovering something together that you might not be able to discover on your own. And that's what is exciting along those lines too. So you must spend so much time together. You tour together, you perform together, of course you live together.
Dennis also tours alone. He also plays a lot alone.
Yes, yes. And as do you. I'm sure you're very busy doing your projects.
I do also some chamber music also.
Yes. Do you, what are the things that you enjoy doing together that are not musical?
We like traveling together. We like going to the museum together, for example, or I don't know.
Walking, traveling,
cooking.
Talking about things we read. Discovering learning new things. Watching the TED Talks, discussing about that, getting together with friends, talking about the things. Making plans for the house, fixing the house.
Dennis likes, for example, things that he has to put his hands on, like constructing and doing things like that.
Home improvement.
Yeah, and I if I have time, which I don't have lately at all.
No. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. My wife is, I call her my princess and my queen. So she makes the decisions and I execute them. Okay. It seems to be working. It's much better.
I like painting, or I like, I like painting and writing, and I like reading a lot. Dennis has become.
I think back there in the background, if you can see, there is one painting by Eugenia. You see that red one?
Yes, it's wonderful.
Yes.
Lovely.
So she likes that. She has a very artistic line in her.
Wonderful.
I'm more of an engineer.
Great. Well, we are very excited to host you, and I think there's that. An added element that you are married and that you have this beautiful, rich life together that I think you bring onto the stage with you everywhere you go, and so we're very, very happy to be a part of that.
Thank you so much. We are excited and looking forward to get the new piece.
Yes.
That we don't have yet.
That's right. Joe Williams is writing you a new piece. And is it also based on the Balkan theme? Is that part of that project? No,
that's another project that we are thinking to do maybe for the next year or something. Because right now we are practicing for another CD that we will do. We will record like in 12 days.
Oh my goodness!
We are preparing a complete new repertoire for a CD that we will release with Bridge Records in New York. But this one, what he's doing, is based on music that comes from Spain. It's Sephardic music. It's the
wonderful.
Music from the Jews who lived in Spain until the 16th century, when they were expelled by the queen and the king. And it's Ladino music, and it's something that I have been having in my mind for the last 3-4 years. but like everything that needs a lot of thinking, and I need so many things. I need a lot of money to commission music from composers. I need a record company behind me wanting to release this project, which I already have. I have Serial Records, which is very interested. And now when you guys proposed that there would be a composer writing a piece for us, I immediately said, oh, please, can you do this based on Sephardic music? Because this is what we're going to do next. And if we like the piece and we enjoy it, of course, the piece is going to go into that CD, which is amazing for a young composer, because that's what you want.
Yeah.
And this is a very, very nice record company in Chicago, Serial Records, very, very nice record company.
Well, Joe is a terrific composer, and he's very excited to be writing this piece. So it's exciting for you, and you haven't seen the work yet. It's exciting for us because we haven't heard it yet, and it's just it's always an amazing thing to put on a world premiere on a concert. So I'm so glad that you've agreed to do that, and it'll be a lot of fun. We can't wait to see you. And
you know what happens? Lately, we are so, in the last 2 years, we are so busy in so many things that doing premieres before was like, oh my God, so little time. But now, let's do it.
Well, that's great. That is going to be just a great experience for all of us. I know Matt Hensley is looking forward to seeing you both. Dennis, you probably know Matt. You've played on Matt's series before, yes, of course. And so all of the Austin Classical Guitar audiences are looking forward to having you back again. And we just can't wait to see you both. Thank you so much for taking time to speak with me. And this was a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Michelle.
You know, Michelle, I wanted to ask you one thing about your last name, Schumann.
I know
it's amazing to be a musician and to have that last name.
Yeah, I always say that I was born with a silver name in my mouth, but it's been great. But you know, it just becomes part of who I am, and I don't associate so much with Robert Schumann. I like to say, I don't think there's any relationship, but I like to say that instead of being part of the offspring of Robert Schumann, I was more part of the offspring of the illegitimate offspring of Clara Schumann and Johannes Brahms.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, I don't know any about that.
Walking there, something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But it's true. Something happened there. Something happened there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe you are related. You should do the DNA test.
Yes, but I'm very, very lucky to have that name. It's been.
I love it. Yeah. When I read the name, I was like, wow, that's very cool.
I think it's a very popular name in Germany. So, and my parents are both from Germany. My father is from Cologne, which is very close to Dusseldorf, which is where Robert Schumann last lived. But I don't think there's any relationship. But it's good enough to just have the name. So
you never know. You can always leave the question out there, and they will think, "Oh my God, she might be."
That's very good. People always tell me that I should just lie, but I haven't started doing that yet.
You look very beautiful, like Clara Schumann. So maybe that's.
You. Well, you are very beautiful too, and you too, Dennis. You are very beautiful.
Just looking forward to meet you in person and receiving the music and start working on it.
Yes, that will come soon. So best of luck to both of you in the recording, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you, Michelle.
Bye.
Bye.